I come to you today to offer you something. Today, I'm going to cleanse you. I'm going to cleanse you of your FOMO. I'm going to fix it. So when someone starts pumping a BBL Ari, you don't go, oh man, this guy's selling this card that was only 20 quid 2 weeks ago, but now it's 60. I really need it. I should have bought it then. Okay, I'm just going to buy it now. I'm going to teach you to stop doing that. I'm going to teach you to buy the BBL Ari because you want the BBL Ari before some dude comes on here and is like, hey guys, today we are going to be pumping and dumping the BBL Ari. No, you're not even going to get to that point because by the moment someone is telling you, hey, this is the story, this is the narrative behind why you should buy this card, it's already too late. There was a prominent guy, and if you've been collecting cards, you know of him. His name is SM Pratt, and he lived by the principles to collect older, rarer, minter, better. I might have gotten that in the wrong order, but older, rarer, minter, better. You collect rare cards and you collect good cards. That is the key, and that's how you fix your FOMO. You develop taste. You end up liking cards before someone has to come along with the narrative and then herd all the sheep to buy it. I'm going to use a quick example of something I like, okay? And I hope this doesn't pump the card. I really doubt it will because this is my first video I've made in forever, so I don't expect it to do well. This is the Spirit Forged Karma card. People hate this card because they don't like the art style. I look at this card and I'm like, this card is stunning. This is a beautiful card. I only have one copy, but I looked at this and I was like, Spirit Forge was the first Riftbound set to introduce a skin line with multiple characters. And this is the Spirit Blossom skin. And if you play League of Legends, you know it's a prominent skin line. You know, all the e-girls love having the Spirit Blossom, Soraka, and Ari. It's like a popular skin line. And this is the first time they did it. What's going to happen in the future? People are going to pick up a random Spirit Forge card. They're going to pick it up. And say they get the Vayne. They're going to be like, oh my god, this Vayne card is stunning. There are more cards like this. There's a Bard. There's a Teemo. There's a Ari, there's a Set, there's a Yasuo, there's probably a few more that I've forgotten, and they're going to want to collect all of them. But I know, because I play Riftbound, that this has lore to it, this has a narrative, this has a reason for you to like it. But no one had to tell me, no one had to give me, no one had to convince me that it's a cool card. I saw the card and I understood why it was cool. And this is how FOMO gets you. When someone comes along, and now they're telling the masses, they're giving the masses a story. This is going to be a BOA card. But imagine this was a BBL Ari, essentially the same thing. Imagine someone came here with a BBL Ari and they're telling you, this card is really cool. It's going to be a future grail. It's so hard to pull. There's only one in X amount of boxes and Spirit Forge is no longer printed. What do you think is going to happen to that BBL Ari card? It's going to go up. Because now people have been told why it's cool. People have been convinced. They've been not, I don't want to say manipulated, I think that's the wrong word to use, but they've been told this is why you should find the card cool. Whereas if you develop taste and you consume the product before these people come and pump and dump things, you can tell a card is going to be cool before someone has to come and convince you it's cool because you've already developed taste. Taste is how you survive any TCG being pumped and dumped and booming or whatever people want to call it. I say this because I used to play One Piece before it boomed, and I had hella of those those blue Dofi structure decks that came with a pack of PRBO1, right? And I had one that I bought 3 because it was like from Yu-Gi-Oh! I thought I needed 3, but I only needed 2. So I had one sealed, I left it for a bit, and then I threw on eBay as an auction. I didn't think much about it, and it sold for a ridiculous amount. That surprised me. I'm like, huh? Why is this doing so well? It has no business doing this well when it's available for retail. And then I realized it was going through this, One Piece was going through this period of like, people being like, hang on, there are really cool cards here, and this set is like an anniversary set, and these cards are hard to pull. Guys, this is worth this much. Even though I always knew the cards were worth that much, and I got caught out, and I missed out on making, actually no, I don't want to reveal too much, but I did good, but I could have done better. And I think the same thing is going to happen to Riftbound. Not only is Riot putting hella effort into this, I can tell they really want the game to be enjoyable, but they keep making erratas and the timings are wrong, but they're fixing their mistakes. But then they did that flash promo thing and everyone got flash for really easy and free if you went to your LGS. So I can't complain. They really want this game to be a thing and they're doing good things about it. The game is really fun. And it has a lot of casual modes, and I think once those get pushed, the game will, naturally, more players are going to come, and the product is going to be harder to find. And what do you think is going to happen? Things are going to go up in price. We know this. We know this is what happens. But I'm not telling you to invest or collect. I'm telling you to play. I want to preface this. I think investors and collectors are not as different as they think they are. There are people that call themselves sealed collectors. Like, you are an investor, but I guess it's easy because you send a few cards to PSA so you can LARP as one of the good guys. I think investors and collectors are pretty much the same. I think players are the most important part of a TCG. Players are the foundation. Without players, collectors, investors, rip and shippers, everyone else, or internet personalities, they cannot exist. This needs to exist. The foundation needs to exist. And I do think the best way to consume a product is to be a player for it. But not everyone wants to do that. And I completely get that. You know, not everyone has the time. Not everyone can convince their friends to pick up a new TCG every other week. I completely get it. And I'm not blaming you. But what I'm telling you to do is, when you see a card you like and you think to yourself, this card has no business being that cheap, you should buy it. Not financial advice, but you should buy it. If you like the card and you're thinking, this shouldn't be this cheap, you should buy it. I'm going to give you an example. So in Chaos Rising, there was a Probo Pass, illustration rare. And this Probo Pass is selling on eBay right now for £3, okay? A pack of Chaos Rising costs £5 retail. And if you're buying off someone else, which you should not be doing, but if you are somehow buying off someone else, they could cost like £7 upwards, which is ridiculous to me. Either way, this Probo Pass is like £3, which is cheaper than a pack. You're telling me, if you bought a pack of Chaos Rising and you got an illustration rare, you would be upset? They could give me an illustration rare foreskin and I'd be like, goodness me, this is wow. Like, I'm happy. My money wasn't wasted. I got something that was worth the investment, that was worth the money I spent. When you start developing this and you're looking at a card and you're like, dude, I've opened a few of these packs. There's no way this card should be this cheap. That's when you buy. Because I'm telling you, by the time these people come along, I'm telling you, there's going to be so many people in the Riftbound space in like a few months, and they're going to be like, investors are buying this is what you should be buying. Guys, this card is a future grail. It's too late. When those guys are now giving a card a narrative and trying to convince you and the masses to buy it, it's too late. They've already bought up tons of those. If those cards go up even by like a few percentage, they're good. So you need to be ahead of the wave. And I think if you are a true enjoyer of the franchise, if you are a true enjoyer of what it is, you shouldn't be losing out when other people are making so much money. It's not fair. You shouldn't be losing out, you know? So you have to be smart. I'm going to give you another card, right? This is the Paldean Fates illustration rare Gardevoir. It's shiny, but people also use it for memes because there's a Wooper there staring at the Gardevoir. And this card was like £200 in a PSA 10. And I kept trying to grade some and I got a ton of 9s. And then I was like, you know what, I'll buy the 10. And it was £300 by the time I bought it. It sucked, but I knew if I didn't buy this now, I would regret it. Because I genuinely love this card. I think Gardevoir is such a cool Pokemon. I actually didn't play this deck because I actually hated this deck. I thought it was way too strong. But the card itself, it looks so cool. It's a shiny. There's another Pokemon featured and it's used in pop culture. It's used in internet culture. This card has cemented itself. And yeah, Paldean Fates is done being printed. You know, once Paldean Fates is done being printed and your favorite influencer comes on here and they're telling you, guys, Paldean Fates is done being printed. We need to FOMO. We need to buy. Then it's going to go up. And we're going to, the people who always wanted it are going to be like, man, I really should have bought it. And then they end up buying it when it's like 600, 700. And yeah, you're happy, but you gave into FOMO. You should have trusted your gut instinct. You should have trusted yourself. Because you like Pokemon. You like Gardevoir. You obviously saw the appeal of this card and you saw it for the price. And you were like, this isn't a bad offer. You should have bid it. You will never time the market perfectly. But if you buy something you love for a price you love, you won't feel bad. If anything, you're going to look back and be like, man, I should have bought 100 of these. You know, I would have been like Rudy. I would have been swimming in money. But as long as you get yourself happy, as long as you get the card you want before it gets pumped and dumped, you'll be okay. I genuinely believe Riftbound has a strong future, mostly because they're trying so hard to keep this game like going. They're trying so hard to get this game off its training wheels. I can tell. I see what they're doing. Yeah, they're doing constant erratas. Yeah, they're doing things wrong, but I think they're doing a lot more good than they are bad. And I understand it's very difficult. This TCG was never intended for Western audiences. It was going to be an Asia exclusive thing. And I'm so glad they brought it to the West. Yeah, there are going to be teething problems. There are going to be translation problems. But they seem so committed to fixing this that I have faith in them. And if the player audience exists, and it does, my locals are filled like all the time. I need to buy my Vendetta pre-releases before they go out of stock. And if this continues, it only makes sense this will grow. I'm telling you right now, there are any Vendetta cards, if there are any Spirit Forge cards, not Origins because they've already started going up in price, but if there are any Spirit Forge cards you like, if there are any Alt Art cards you like, if there are any Showcase cards you like, buy them now, you know? Unless you plan on like selling them in 2 weeks, you're not going to miss out. Because you will have the card you want, and it doesn't matter who comes and pumps and dumps your BBLRE. It won't matter because you would have got what you wanted before people came and gave that card a narrative. Because you have taste. You knew the card story. No one had to come and convince you. But if someone has to convince you to like it, it's too late. Especially if their convincing works, you know? Especially if they come here and they tell everyone, hey, you guys should buy, I need to stop saying BBLRE, but I can't think of anything else. If someone comes along and says, guys, you need to buy this BBLRE, it's going to be a future grail, it's so hard to pull, and then you're going to be like, man, I wish I bought it. Can I say one more thing? You know those signed cards, this video is way too long, but you know the signed showcase cards with the signature? You get one of those in like every 5 cases. A case has 6 packs. That is like what? 1 in every 30? My math might be wrong. 1 in every 30 boxes has a signature card. You're telling me if you bought 3-4 boxes for retail, 400, 300, and you pulled a signed showcase card, you'd be upset with the money you spent? Then why would you not buy a signed showcase card when it costs like 300, 400? That's food for thought. I'll catch you guys next time.